All right, we're for another round. Getting ready to do the floor pan. I think I'm going to do the driver's side first just because, well, the drinker side, as Vice Grip Garage would say, could probably wait to the end or to the next part. I wanted to get the driver's side. The driver's side is worse up front. The passenger side is worse in the rear, like behind the front seat. So here, you see my driver's side. I don't even have license plates to put over it. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not sure if this is even the other pan and my whole. I think the floorboard's gone up here. If you look right here, so this is the floorboard up to the seam, and then the toe panel. I think that this right here and this is the actual floor pan, and then this is the good metal that I need to put the floor panel on top of. Yeah, and actually it is. It's that bad. So you've got all that. So the new toe panel, hopefully it goes up high enough. If not, then I'll just bridge some metal into it. And then, of course, down here, you can see my frame rail. Got the brake line. I'm just going to cut this brake line. There's no need to keep it. It's junk. And then in the back, as you come along, I've already kind of marked it out. Like a few weeks ago, I marked it out. Kind of saving. And then when I'm going to get underneath it and then drill up. I'm going to drill up, and that way I can kind of see where the frame braces are. Drill up, and then I'll see it from the top, and then I can mark a line across and cut it out without worrying about cutting into the brace itself. Let's go look underneath and see what we got going on here. So I got this little light today, and I'm trying to figure it out, so bear with me. You can change it in all kinds of directions and stuff. So. All right, so here we go. So that's the brace, one of the braces I'm speaking of right here. That brace right here. There's another brace right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill up through on each side of the brace. And then once I see it from the top side, I'll know exactly where to cut. And then I'll be able to take out all this metal in between. And that will allow me to, actually it'll be easier just to try to get those spot welds that are all along each one of those braces once that's all out. But yeah, so that's that side. And then you can see over, let me get the light going that direction. That's the passenger side. And you can see how it's rusty too. A little rust everywhere. And that's where it's coming from. I was leaking transmission fluid, and it's at weird times, but that's why that pan's down here. But it looks like it's coming out of the speedometer because the transmission's, I don't want to say new, it was rebuilt, but that was 30 years ago. So I'm going to probably cut all cut all these fuel lines, and I don't know about the brake lines. I might cut the brake lines. We'll see. But the fuel lines, I don't need the fuel lines. I'm going to get new fuel lines. I'm going to get new brake lines as well, but I probably want to leave the brake lines for now in case I got to move it in or out. Fuel line I don't need. I already ran out of a bucket. Plus, I don't even have a fuel tank. So that would do me no good. This is the passenger side right here. And you can see this is actually underneath the seat. This is the back seat. This is underneath the seat. And this side on the toe board is not as bad. It does have rust on it. All this terracotta color was primer that Rust-Oleum that I had put on there back in 30 some years ago, 1990 something, and it was my effort just to keep it from rusting any further than what it was. So, but it looks good. I mean, all things considering, it looks good. But you can see all this rust. I could peel back. Look at that. Actually, you know, there's a thing. If you to go faster, you got to do one or two things. Make more horsepower or go lighter. Maybe I'll just go the weight reduction route. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with the driver's side first. Get out the floor pan. And then once I get through that, I'm gonna leave enough in there. I've already, like if you see on these lines, I've already got it to where the high mark is on the floor pan once I stuck it in. Now that's not where I want to cut. I drew down to probably about 3 or so inches down, and that's going to be too low, but that's okay because my intent is to cut it down, leave extra metal, let it fall down, and wherever the gap is, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the quarter panel. I'm going to lap it over, slice it, push it, tack it, then I'll pull out that leftover steel from underneath and on the top. That's a professional looking wiring job right there. It almost looks like somebody knew what they were doing with all that. Well, all we're missing is a zip tie. Look at this, got a couple wires here, a couple wires. And this, I'm assuming, is all my speaker wires because they were just kind of laying on the ground when I came and got that. Man, this is a mess. I might have to go get a degree in electronics just to undo this. Yeah. But the good thing is it started and I drove it over here. So at bare minimum, if I don't shake any wire or touch any other wire, I at least can drive it a little bit. But now I'm going to go through all that later. And this is from a choke when I had a Holley double pumper on there. I put a manual choke on it. I don't need this anymore, so this is going to come out. Actually, I could pull it out right now, but I want to find out where it is in the firewall. That way I don't just leave another hole. Believe it or not, back in the day, that was something. Kenwood cassette deck. It was like a step up from a Kraco. And I'll show you what else I had bought. This is, how old was I? Damn, I had to be probably 19, 20, I would imagine, at the time I bought this thing. But I even went and got an equalizer. I don't even know the brand of it. HT7200 EQ electronic slide control. Yeah, that's the equalizer I had in it. Still good. Who knows? I might still use it, but that's not my concern right now. Concern is cutting out all this floor pan, marking it from underneath, like I said, and cut it out. And then from there, I'll see what I've got, and then lay this one in. I'm gonna have to make some holes too. So over top of where the seats go, the seat holes are going, I'm gonna have to make a hole there. I've got to make a hole where the emergency brake comes through here. I don't know if I'm gonna even make a hole here. Factory has that hole down there, and they have one of these freaking things that go in it. I'm not sure what the real meaning is behind it, or if there's any safety thing I need to worry about, but I really don't feel like putting a hole in my freaking floorboard, especially considering a lot of the other ones are sealed up, and I didn't seal this up, so it's probably factory sealed up, I'd imagine. But overall, and the back is all good. That's all solid, no rust in the back on either side. So right now, the floorboards that I've got should be suffice. And once I get the toe boards coming in, hopefully it goes up far enough. Geez, if I could get it to come up far enough, I'll be one happy camper. If not, then I'm gonna have to splice some metal in there somehow or another. In this menagerie right here, I know people always complain about taking these off and saying they're a pain in the butt, so I may see if I can get around not taking that toe panel kickboard off, but we'll see. I do need to get into that electrical sometime. It's like the OCD in me. I'll see something, I'm doing something, I'll run off, try to do something else, and it's, instead of focusing on the main task at hand, I'm all over the place. It's like chasing squirrels out in the backyard. But all right, guys, let me get to cutting this out, or at least drilling the holes and marking these things, and then I'll cut it out. See you later. Welcome back, guys. I've already started this morning going through the driver's side floor plan like I was talking about. I've already got part of it cut out, trying to go around, and I'm getting rid of this. Like I said before, this is the brake line. I'm just trying not to cut into it. And then I've got the, I'm not sorry, the emergency brake line, and then I've got the brake lines under here, right underneath this lip. So I'm going to have to remove that before I actually start installing installing the floor pan or cutting that out. I've gone along and I've got a drill bit that I had gotten off of Amazon, and it's probably seen its better days. I've got an extra one, but I'm trying to get the most out of it. This is for drilling out spot welds. So right now, this brace right here, what I did was I cut, like I was talking about yesterday, I marked the holes with a drill, and then I was able to cut up around, and this would made it easier for me to not run into stuff. And then it basically left a strip that went across here. Then I kind of cut down in the middle of it, found the spot welds, drilled them out, popped them out, and now I'm working on the spot welds on the front piece of it. There's not a whole lot here, so this will be just kind of flaking off. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. The spot weld, drilling out the spot welds is probably one of my least favorite parts of it. But it's one of those things you got to do. And you can see there was all kinds of rust in here. I vacuumed it up. I'll clean it up later. Put some rust encapsulator or rust killer on it. Grind it up, get it all clean. So when I put the new floor pan on, it'll be all sealed up for the next however many years till it decides to rust. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, I went along the bottom line that I drew the 2 lines. I went along the bottom line. Here's a brace that comes out here, and I'm leaving it alone. I'm going to cut around it, and then I'm going to knock these spot welds out, and I'll hit this delicately. But before I do that, I've got to get down there and start releasing it, because this emergency brake line is bolted up right up, I believe right under here somewhere. But yep, that's where I'm at right now. Get back with you later when I get a little bit more progress. All right, I'm done for the day. It looks like I'm going to call it and then come back out tomorrow. But here's where I've gotten so far. So I've gotten all the floor pan out. This is the piece that I got to keep because the other one really wasn't even existent. But I'm not going to cut any more up top until I get that toe board, and it should be here Monday, which is in about 4 days from now. About 4 days from now. But I have the floorboard, and I've cut it down. Like I said, I etched it all out. Only thing I have left to do tomorrow is to continue. This is, I broke some of the spot welds on this piece. I got to cut this off, and then I'm going to have to split the spot welds on this one, cut that off, and then go up here. I didn't take off the brake lines all the way. I just loosened up all the brackets so I can push them and move them out of the way. I didn't want to disconnect the brackets. I did learn a lesson though. Yesterday I was grinding, and I had the GoPro, and I thought, that'd be cool. Get it close so you can see what I'm doing. I went in the house, and the GoPro lens was splattered with grind, and it's not like I haven't made that mistake before. My Bronco, I was grinding the roof, or the hood, the valance rather, and I messed up a brand new windshield, and I had to have it redone. Even after trying to buff it out, it didn't work. So yeah, grinding is my Achilles heel, I guess. But yep, this is where we're at right now. I'm just letting you know where we're up to date. And then tomorrow I'll come out here and, like I said, break that out and then set it in there and see kind of how it sits in there and cinch it down. Before I actually put it on, I'm going to go through all this, clean it up, and then put rust inhibitor on it and paint it. But I want to be able to zip it down and just kind of see where I'm at so I can trace the lines of where it's going to be around here, because right now I've got generic lines. Something else I noticed when I pulled out this floorboard, was my transmission cross member right here. This bolt should not be coming from the top. This bolt should be coming from the bottom, but it's just sitting in there and it's not even screwed. It's just kind of hanging in there. So I don't know. I'm assuming it was me. I'm just going to assume it was me 30 some years ago, but yeah. And I got real lucky. I was really cognizant of it, but I got lucky when I was grinding through. I didn't hit any brake line, didn't hit anything that was of any importance in this line. I didn't even know this was under there when I was cutting through here, but just by going really shallow on the grind cut, I missed it. I didn't even tag it. And that's my speedometer cable. I'm thinking that speedometer cable probably should go below that, not above it. I don't think it should be above the cross. No, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look. But yep, that's all for today. I'll be out here tomorrow. I'm going to go in and get something to eat. Have a good night. All right, guys, it's been a few minutes. It's actually been a few days. I was waiting on a couple of things to come in the mail before I went any further, which is, this is the floorboard I was talking about. These are the ones that I've prepped to put in the car. But as you can see, this goes straight up to this seam. Right next to the floorboard by your feet. And then I needed something for the toe board. Well, I couldn't find toe board, so I ended up buying these. And they came pretty well packed from Classic Industries. They made sure all the edges were buffered off. But I'm going to end up probably cutting it right along there, because that's the seam where the other one meets. And that will give me that metal right there for up there. Right, that area right there. So once I get this cut out, I'll be able to lay it up there and then kind of see what I need to cut versus what I can't cut. And it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, I think, because the brake pedal and the gas pedal are there, and it's just like, and that little plastic piece, I might have to unbolt that plastic piece that's right up there. It's kind of got overspray on it, so you might not be able to see it. But I'm going to have to take that off as well before I start welding. And then what else came was the rust encapsulator. So I'm going to go over and paint all this, get it all covered with rust encapsulator prior to putting down the floor pan. But yeah, I was just waiting on the floor pan for the toe boards, because that's what I want to put down first. I want to put the toe board down first, and then by putting that toe board down, it will allow me to line this up. I think the toe board slides under that. And that's why I wanted to wait to get the toe board on first. And I'm holding off on the passenger side, so I wasn't even going to start working on that, because I want to get one side done. So any lessons learned I get on this side, as I go to the next side, I can apply them to that side. One of the things, when I lay this down, I'm going to have to go under this. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it, maybe I just cut it around and under. But yeah, so far, so good. Like I said, it's just been a few days where I haven't been able to do anything while I've been waiting for this thing to come in the mail. But what I might do is I might just push this video out right now, so it's not one bigger video, make it a part like 1 or 2 maybe, and then I'll pick up where I'm putting these in. That way it doesn't get to be too terribly big, because I know sometimes when I watch videos, if it's freaking too long, I'm just like, yeah, I want to see one thing and that's it. But we'll see how long I've got right now, and if I've gotten too much or not enough, and we'll determine where I go from here. But yep, so that's where I'm at right now. I got these things, came in the mail today, so I should be good to go. And you can see my boxes are still stacking up. I love boxes while I'm doing this. It allows me to cut them up and slide them under, and if anything drops, drips, splatters, whatever. All right, guys, thanks a lot. I'm going to get to work and then pick up later.